Well, hello there, motherfuckers. And SummerSlam is tonight, but I won't be watching it. I might do a reaction. I think I'll watch Goldberg versus Dolph Ziggler. Because being a Goldberg fan, I feel obligated to watch. So I'll probably do that. About 2 months ago, we talked about Matt Riddle and his reaction to the Goldberg Undertaker match. Now, Matt Riddle is a nobody. You know, half the people who watched my video watched it to, see what the whole thing was about. They didn't even know who Matt Riddle was, but Matt Riddle's one of the biggest stars in NXT, apparently. Not good enough to be a champion over there, but, he's supposed to be something special. According to the marks, Matt Riddle is like the future. And if you ask Matt Riddle himself, he'll tell you that he's the future too. Now, if you ask me, there's no future for wrestling at all. It's dead. Right? It's dead and buried. That stuff is completely gone. But anyway, I don't do my normal reviews on here, so you can see that wrestling is slowly making its way out of my life. I will still love all the nostalgic, great wrestling from the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era, and, even things that happened in the the golden age, such as, in the 80s and the early 90s. So, let's talk about Matt Riddle right now. And, he will not stop. He will not stop because Goldberg is having a match against Dolph Ziggler. So, Matt Riddle's got to jump in. And even Jericho didn't like this garbage. And even Jericho said that, this needs to stop. Just shut up already. And so anyway, and I might show that tweet, but let's take a look at this video here. And I started watching a little bit of this, but then I stopped. I was like, you know what? Let me make a reaction video to it. So let's take a look at what Matt Riddle's got to say. I know the videos, I tested it out before, so it's a little low. So I apologize for that. I'll see if I could do anything in post for that when I edit this video up. So, let's check it out.
I'm just going to say this. I don't know what's going on with all these WCW guys. Legitimately. Man, I don't like Goldberg. I had my thing. I'm not going to get into it. Everybody knows one thing, and it's true. He's not at the level. And yes, he's made lots of money. But at the end of the day, when future wrestlers come in, or somebody wants to get into this business, or a passionate fan wants to watch something good, I doubt they're going to pull up a Bill Goldberg match. They're going to pull one of my matches, or Kurt Angle's matches, or Chris Benoit matches, or Shawn Michaels, or Bret Hart. And I'll go on. But Goldberg's not in that category, or less. That's enough. Chris Jericho, you came at me. I don't know why you're saying, listen and learn, kid. I'll beat the shit out of you. I don't understand that. I don't get it. You're soft as hell. Maybe back in your prime, but even then I would have beat the shit out of you then. So listen and learn.
He's such a mark.
Check him out. Lance, I don't get it. You were born then. I remember doing a seminar with you at Legends Camp in North Carolina. I literally fell asleep during your seminar. I had to be woken up by you. I even apologized at the time. And then to think years later I'd be in NXT, and for some reason you get on your little Twitter machine, you start talking trash about me. It's like, bro, barefoot or not, still 10 times the entertainer you ever were. Keep coaching, keep passing on the tradition. Just don't teach them how to be entertaining because you don't know how to. Alright? And Booker T, I really like you, Booker T. Really didn't want any heat with you. But you said I couldn't work, and I'm pretty sure if you watched a couple of my matches, you'll probably realize you were really wrong about that. So, that's it. I want everybody to know where I'm coming from, because I'm a pretty sweet guy.
Oh my God.
Okay? And I don't want any of this trouble. Okay? Alright. Everybody, have a great Monday. And, I'll see everybody in Albany, New York Thursday, Buffalo, New York Friday, and take over Toronto Saturday. Later, bro.
Oh my, first of all, have you ever seen a more punchable face in your life? I mean, that truly is a, and here we go, there's another little video here. What's wrong with these WCW guys? First Goldberg, then Booker T, and now a really boring wrestler who hates barefoot bros, Lance Storm, and then Jericho here. I said I would show the tweet. Listen and learn, kid. Who's this? You should read I Am Jericho's first book. Here's a snippet about why cutting LOL promos at older performers Goldberg isn't a good look. Always appreciated that about watching Chris. Here's the part of the book where he talks about it. I learned an important lesson, the first of 3 seminal moments in my promo development. I had done an interview about my first match with Bulldog, and I was talking about how old and slow he was, just burying him. I thought it was pretty good until I walked to the dressing room and Bulldog stopped me in front of everyone. What the hell are you doing? Yeah, I'm old and everybody knows it, but I want you to think about this. If I beat you, and I will be beating you, then you just got beat by an old man. If you beat me and you will not be beating me, then you just beat up an old man. So this is and who's oh, okay, so this guy Sean, and I don't know who he is. I don't know who Sean is. I don't think he's really anybody. Whoa, what the hell is that? Anyway, so what do you go? Let's go full screen here for a moment, guys. So anyway, what he's trying to show right there is that guy, and Jericho, retweeted that guy's tweet saying like, it's not very wise for you to insult older wrestlers. Like Jericho had an example of in his book right there about British Bulldog, and we weren't given a lot of context there, but I would assume they're talking about in 1999, around when Jericho debuted. Bulldog showed up, I think like about a month or 2 after he debuted. So they, I don't think it was on TV, but Bulldog was there. And I guess Jericho cut a promo on him, and this is kind of what Matt Riddle is doing. He's cutting promos on these people, and he's naming like all the best wrestlers or the most over wrestlers. Now you could argue, you could say that Goldberg's not a great wrestler, but wrestling is not about who is the greatest wrestler, right? It's all about who can make the most money, who could be the best draw. It doesn't matter if you want to talk about who does the most moves and who's the most athletic, because that crap never made money ever. Show me an example where it was. Because even when Shawn Michaels was on the top in WWE in 1996 and Bret Hart, no one was watching the show. Right? It wasn't until Stone Cold Steve Austin came along. It wasn't until The Rock came along. It wasn't until, they changed The Undertaker and Kane to fit, a more contemporary sense of what was going on, in society. So, you see that it's not all about who's the most athletic. It's not always about, who had the best match. It's not about what Dave Meltzer wrote in his newsletter that week about you on the show, if he thought you cut a good promo or not. Do you realize, that Chris Jericho, Booker T, Goldberg, now Lance Storm may be an a-hole, but he's a great wrestler. If you want to talk about great wrestlers, and you're talking about boring, like you're entertaining, bro, I say bro a lot. I say bro. Like, do you even realize that bro was something popularized by Vince Russo who's not even a wrestler, who's 100 times more entertaining than you, bro, and I probably bet that you hate him too. Right, bro? What an obnoxious, dislikable individual, right? Like, does he realize that a who's who, like Booker T not only knows how to cut great promos, wrestle great matches, who's been involved in some of the biggest moments in wrestling history. Not only is he one of the most entertaining commentators I heard in the past few years, I think Booker T knows a thing or two. And Chris Jericho? Oh my God, like, you want to talk about historic. You want to talk about a guy who knows about wrestling. And Lance Storm, to his credit, knows a thing or two about wrestling. And Goldberg might not know about technical wrestling and chain wrestling and all that stuff and doing high spots and stuff. First of all, let's talk about this. Goldberg has drawn money. You want to know how over Goldberg was? Like, I'm just surprised if any person, because with the WWE Network, there's no excuse. Go watch Goldberg versus Hulk Hogan in the Atlanta, Georgia Dome. That right there was probably one of the craziest, biggest WCW crowds I ever saw. There was an enormous crowd there. I don't know if I'm overshooting it. Like, what was it? Like 50,000 people, 60,000 people. Oh, here we go. Whoa, Seth Rollins. Oh my God. You can't escape me, bro. Oh God. Anyway, yeah. Let's take a look here. So, we've got 41,412 people with 30,000 tickets sold before the announcement of the main event. So, this right here, and Goldberg was at the top anyway, so, I'm reading the whole thing here, but I don't want to hear anybody say, oh, well, people didn't even know he was going to be in a minute. Look, people came when Goldberg was there. Goldberg was a big time draw, and if you weren't alive or you didn't watch wrestling in 1998, then just do your research. Go watch that match, and you watch the match, and you might be focused on what's going on in the ring. You might be like, well, it's okay, it's not great. I mean, it's not like a Matt Riddle match. Look at the crowd. Listen to the crowd. It is deafening in there. When Goldberg picks him up for the jackhammer, that crowd's ecstatic. And why no one is talking about that here in the YWC is disgraceful. Because Goldberg is a legend in every sense of the word. And it doesn't matter you being a legend and you being a wrestling icon, and you being over, and you being a draw, has nothing to do with how many moves you can do. Doesn't matter if Matt Riddle knows how to do 206 moves and Goldberg only knows how to do 8. Doesn't matter. It all matters of who puts the butts in the seats. And Goldberg did that. Matt Riddle is wrestling in front of, when they have a takeover. They, if they go into the Barclays, they'll have a bigger crowd. They'll have, tens of thousands of people there. They'll have, 18,000 people at the Barclays, whatever it may be. But most of the time he's wrestling in front of 500 people, 800 people on a good day. And so, this guy, he doesn't realize it, but legends are attacking him. And that's not a good thing for your career. Because these people know what it takes to get to the top. Booker T knows what it takes. Jericho knows what it takes. Lance Storm, he never had a lot of success in WWE. But if you watch him in WCW, when Russo worked with him, and he had the US title, he had the hardcore title, What do you have? Did he have the Cruiserweight Championship or something like that? He had like 3 different belts at one time, and he was super over, and every time he used to do, if I could be serious for a minute, it was over. So, like, just everyone who's attacking him has the right to attack him because he's a rude person. He has, like, no like, self-awareness. That attacking someone like Goldberg, and first of all, you're picking a fight with Goldberg, and everyone knows why you're doing it. It's very transparent because you want to be over, and that's what Jericho's trying to say here. Like, do you realize that, like, that's not making you look good? Because say, like, you might want Goldberg to have like a match with you, and on TV. And, you might be, like, super over. And, you post, like, all the time on your Twitter about, like, wanting to wrestle Brock Lesnar and everything. Guy, it's not going to happen. Look, this guy, forget about it. If they ever put him on the main roster, look what happens to all the guys they put on the main roster from NXT. They get buried. And so it's not going to turn out the way that you think it is, and it really makes you look like a mark. And you see, like, this right here, this is why I don't care about AEW. This is why I want no business with AEW, because right here, like Matt Riddle, that you're going to have like dozens of these people in there, and you're going to have these rude, obnoxious punks that have, like, no idea what it takes. And that's why we go through this endless cycle of why wrestling still continues to be complete garbo. Because you've got nincompoops like this, who talk garbage about the actual good stuff. And they're writing off as bad stuff. Like, Brian Alvarez will sit there with Dave Meltzer and talk about how bad all the Attitude Era shows are. And it's like, are you kidding me? You're going to, like, sit here and talk about how bad the Attitude Era was. Even though no one's watching now, there's record low numbers, there's record low attendance. We're living in one of the worst periods of all time when it comes to wrestling in history. And you have the audacity to sit there. Like, I'm sure Brian Alvarez loves Matt Riddle. Because, like, they're in sync here. Like, according to Matt Riddle, like, first of all, if you're a wrestler and you don't think that the Attitude Era was good, I know it may be opinion. Oh, it's his opinion. It's his opinion. Maybe he doesn't like WCW and he doesn't like the years that Goldberg was at the top. If you don't have respect and think that that was quality television, then, like, you really have no business being in the wrestling business. Like honestly, you don't. Because if you can't recognize that as being quality television and stuff that you need to be doing in your career, not to copy it and be like a carbon copy of, like, The Rock or something like that. Not saying that at all. But if you don't realize that you need to be character driven and you need to, like, tell a good story, and it's not about what moves you use or how much you try to kill yourself in the ring. It's all about, how you can, and you say entertaining. You don't know how to be entertaining. You're saying to Lance Storm. Do you realize by Lance Storm acting super serious and, Lance Storm staying there in the middle of the ring, if I could be serious for a minute, that was more over than you'll ever be, and all it was just an otherwise bland phrase. But Storm got it over. Even Storm, on his way out of the WWE, even doing this dance move, like, that was more over than you'll ever be. Like, do you realize that, Matt Riddle? Do you realize what complete trash you are? That, like, if someone had to compile a list of great wrestlers and great entertainers, that you probably wouldn't even be number 500. You wouldn't even be number 1,000. You probably wouldn't even be number 2,000. It's a lot of great wrestlers. in the history of the business. And buddy, you're not one of them. Thank you for watching, guys. If you agree, if you disagree, you think this is complete poppycock, let me know in the comments down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post on my new videos. And guys, I will see you next time.